Moggalana is a main top left disciple of the Buddha. And, basically, he's a friend of another important monk, the main top right disciple of the Buddha, Sariputta. They were in early life. They're born as Maha Moggalana was born as Kolita in the Brahmanic family, which is highest caste in the old Hindu tradition in India, near Magadha. Magadha was the main kingdom in the time of modern Bihar in India, in the northeastern India. His close childhood friend of Upatissa on the left there later becomes Sariputta, the main disciples, like a prime minister of the Buddha. Moggallana shown a little darker skin. Supposedly, he was in the past life, he was serving time in the hell, and they make his skin a little darker. Maybe he just have darker complex. I'm not sure. In our tradition, they didn't mention that, but this a lot of time this is from other Mahayana, especially. Both share a deep quest for truth and renounce worldly life after realizing its impermanence. Initially, they follow the teaching of the teacher Sanchai Veratabut, who teach like Amaratikawati, which is kind of like in modern terms probably like flip-flop. If they ask about red, you answer would be green, something like that, or white would answer black, something, or if they ask black, we answer white, and so on. So they didn't satisfy this too, but later encountered the Buddha's teaching and became his disciple. It started with Upatissa. This is his friend. Basically, he encountered Asachi, which is one of the first 5 disciples of the Buddha, who just recently attained enlightenment. So he noticed this monk is very serene, very peaceful. So he followed this monk to after the arm rouse in the market, and he was sitting down, have his breakfast, and then he approached the monk Aschi and asked, "Who's your teacher?" And Aschi was very humble. He said, "I'm just newly ordained monk, and then still not knowing a lot, but Aschi insists that just tell me briefly what the teaching was about by the Buddha, who is the teacher, and so on. Give me the summary of his teaching." So Asachi informed Sariputta that as follows: any phenomenon arisen from a cause, the Buddha would demonstrate the cause and the end of such phenomenon. And this is a norm of the Buddha's teaching. So basically, based on dependent arising or law of causation, that thing has a cause. When you see the cause, it ends the phenomenon, because it can't continue once you see it. Like cause of suffering is a cause of suffering. When you see the cause, it eliminates suffering, which is the consequence of the cause. So this is the follow the Four Ultimate Truth. So by uh, which is about suffering, cause of suffering, end of suffering, with the path to end suffering. By hearing just those words at the bottom there, bottom right, Asachi entertained first level enlightenment, became a stream enterer by hearing any phenomena arisen from a cause, the Buddha would demonstrate its cause and the end of such phenomena. By hearing that, he was so smart, say, oh, everything has a cause and reason. When you see its cause, that's the end of the phenomena, which includes suffering, which is the main ultimate truth as being taught by the Buddha. And when you realize fully, you attain nirvana. So as they promised his friend Kolita, um, when he went back to see his friend, and his friend was greeting him, "You look so bright today. What's happening?" So he said, and I encountered a monk named Asachi, and he told me this such word, any phenomenon arisen from a cause, the Buddha would demonstrate its cause at the end of such phenomena. By hearing that, Kolita also came enlightened at the first level, became a stream enterer. They're so smart by hearing such a thing, amazingly became stream enterer. So the two of them decide that they will leave their teacher, Sanchai, and went back and tell his friends that 200 of them follow these two, and went to ask his teacher, Sanchai, say, we're going to leave this school. We're going to go to learn more from the Buddha, and why don't you come and join us? But Sanchai, their teacher, didn't want to. Say, he asked the two, say, what do you think about people in the world? Are they more fools or more wise guy? So the answer from these two said there are lots of more fools than the wise one. So then the teacher told these two, said, you just go with the wise one. I'll stay with the fool. That means he didn't want to follow them. So these two went to be ordained by the Buddha, and their spiritual journey after meeting the Buddha, Moggallana on the right and Sariputta on the left, were ordained. Moggallana attained arahantship, which is the full enlightenment. 1 week after ordination, became one of the Buddha's two chief male disciples. And Sariputta, because he's so wise, took him 2 weeks to attain enlightenment, a little bit longer. Because when you're too smart, sometimes you question a lot. And during the first week after his became a stream enterer, became a monk, he practiced very hard and was getting drowsy. Once upon a time, the Buddha was residing at Pesakala Deer Park, Pesakala Mercatayon, near Sansumar, Kira city. At the very same time, Maha Moggalana was sitting sleepy, drowsy at Kalawal Mutakam village in Magadha province. The Buddha saw him with his divine eye that Moggallana was sitting sleepy with his pure divine vision beyond any human sight. So he just appeared in front of Moggallana with his magical power. And the Buddha disappeared from Pesakala Deer Park to appear in front of Maha Moggalana. Then he sat on a seat and questioned Maha Moggalana on being drowsy. Buddha gave Moggallana a specific sequence of 8 steps to overcome drowsiness during meditation. This is from that sutra, Bhakkala Yamana Sutra, Anguttara Nikaya 58. And this advice helped Moggallana, who was experiencing significant fatigue, to progress in his practice and ultimately attain enlightenment at that 1 week after his ordination. So what were the 8 steps to control, combat drowsiness? 1. Do not give attention to the thoughts or perception that is causing the drowsiness. 2. Reflect on the Dhamma or the teaching as you have heard and learned it, pondering over it in your mind. And 3. Recite the Dhamma aloud in detail if reflection did not work. And 4, the fourth one is physically rouse yourself by pulling both earlobes, or you can yawn your ear or whatever, and rubbing your limbs with your hands to try to wake yourself up. And or sometimes you can do Q-tip or yank your ear like that. And fifth is get up from your seat, wash your eyes, your face, and look around all directions and look up to the stars to wake yourself up. And sixth, attend to the perception of light, making your mind bright and unclouded as if it were daytime, even at night. And 7, take to walking meditation like we just did, back and forth with senses turning inward and mind not straying outward. And 8, if nothing works, lie down mindfully in the lion's posture on the right side, your feet overlapping, with the clear intention to get up quickly and not indulge in the pleasure of sleep after you wake up. And then the Buddha went on in the same sutra, said he teach how to behave by saying, one should not be arrogant while visiting a clan, as they may be busy performing their tasks or duties and may not give proper greeting. Because of that, they may not, the monk might not, did not receive any offering, or feeling awkward, and by being that, make you distracted and not being not composed after that, and the mind not concentrate. The mind went astray because you went in the wrong time. Then he also advised Moggallana further, say, monks should not say words that will cause arguments, saying too many words that result in quarreling, yet wishing to say even more or talk too much, one would be distracted. Once distracted, the mind would be distant from mental concentration or samadhi or steady mind. The Buddha praised being among the company of quiescence, not among the noisy and crowded places. Okay. It would be a suitable place for those who want peace in such a secluded place like that, location. Be suitable for you to meditate, to get a steady mind and see to realize the truth. And then he gave the advice that in practicing that lead to enlightenment by saying all phenomena are not worth clinging to. That's very important verse. Very short, but get to the point in sum up the Buddha's teaching. All phenomena are not worth clinging to. Realizing all phenomena with one's great wisdom, with full understanding of all phenomena, any feeling perceived, either happy, unhappy, or neutral feelings, should be realized as being impermanent. One would be dispassionate, liberated, and aware of what have been surrendered through that realization. Realized as such, one would not cling to anything in the world. So bottom line is all phenomena are not worth clinging to. When your mind realizes that, it let go by become disenchanted, discerned, dispassionate, liberated by itself. Attain enlightenment. So by doing that, achieving that enlightenment without clinging, one would not falter. Without faltering, one would attain nirvana by oneself. Nirvana cannot be attained by some other people. You have to do it on your own. The Buddha only point out a way. You yourself has to make the effort and realize that birth is ended. Holy life is fulfilled. The task is done. There's nothing else further beyond this. And your job fulfilled through the will system. It became enlightened. In short, with such practice, the monk is liberated as being voided of craving. Craving is a root or cause of suffering, the second noble truth, as mentioned earlier. The consequence is suffering, so cause and effect. By practicing the middle path and come to realize that nothing is worth clinging to, the result is nirvana, the fourth noble truth, and the third noble truth as the result of the practicing the fourth noble truth, which is the middle path. So he's totally successful. He's peaceful from becoming an enlightened being. He has totally fulfilled the virgin life. He's most transcendental, better than all angels and men. So, as mentioned earlier, he's the master of psychic power. The most notable one is one recited in Jayamangala Sutra, Jayamangala Katha Sutra, that monks usually chant. There are like 7 psychic power performed by the Buddha, but one of them is number 7 was performed by Moggallana, his main disciple. But the Buddha is about subduing the serpent, King Naga Nantapanada, Nantapananda, and the Buddha was present throughout this event and cautioned Moggallana, even that because the serpent is very powerful. The epic feat was succinctly commemorated in the 7th verse out of 8 in the Jayamangala Katha, which is uh, recited at almost every Buddhist occasion. They recite this like a big blessing. So Nantopananda Pujakam, this is the serpent. Was a serpent with great power but wrong views. The Lord of Starch defeat him by means of displaying of marvels, sending his son, which is Moggallana, the serpent elder, to tame him. This is the blessing that's been chanted. By the majesty of this, may you have the highest victory blessing. Okay. So even he has the most psychic power. There are many other monks volunteer to subdue this serpent, but the Buddha did not allow. But allow Moggallana to subdue this serpent and appear in this Chayamangala Katha. The other 7 miracles was done by the Buddha himself. Maha Moggalana also checked Sakka, which is Indra. He rules the heaven realm. The second level is his Davadunsa. I think he resides in the 3rd level. You remember we talked about 33 uh, angels that done good deed in the past, and 32 of them, and the head of that, the 33rd member was Indra or Sakka. He's the head of their peer. And he was kind of a negligence in the Dhamma practice. So Maha Moggalana went up to his heaven, his marble palace, and kind of warned him. And he went up to greet him as usual, and went back to his pleasurable environment again. And then Maha Moggalana basically shook his marble temple in heaven with his great toe only to correct his negligence. He was astonished. Who was doing that? And I just did that by with his great toe only. So God warned him that he should go back to Dhamma practice, not to waste our life away. And In the Mahayana tradition, and Chinese, Chan, and also Japan, they have the day called Ulambana. We don't celebrate this in the Theravada in our tradition, but it's very big in the Mahayana tradition. Ulambana um, is a ritual performed um, to serve deceased people from torments after death, such as being suspended upside down. It's in hell, basically. And basically, this picture depict Moggallana went down to the hell to help his mom in the previous life um, to try to get her out of misery. But whenever he offered food or whatever, when she swallowed, it turned into flame. So he couldn't do anything more. He asked for the help of the Buddha, who came in to help him by saying, "You can't feed her by that way." By and advised him to give food to other monks at the temple, and that merits will pass on to her, and it did. It did help her. Um, so he became a champion in terms of to do things connected to hell and help people out misery, and they were serving time in the hell. And in Chinese tradition, in China, Ulampana is held on the 15 days of the 7 lunar months to help hungry ghosts, or preta. This I've seen this in Thailand, very popular among Chinese tradition. They call Chigwet Po, which translate as the mid of 15 days of the 7th month. They go to their ancestor, to the Chinese tradition. They bury people, so they will go to their burial place and have pay respect to big family, like down to the grandchildren, go together once a year to pay respect and worship to their ancestor. So Ulampana is held in the 15 days of the 7th month to help hungry ghosts, preta, offering of food and wealth, often in a paper or representational form that would make up like paper house and cars, and now we have a paper cell phone and burn it up and pass it on. In their tradition, I made Susakadim. In Japan, Uraban is called differently, or merely simply Ban is held 15th July, on 15th of July or 15th of August. That means solar calendar. But I'm sure originally was the 7th lunar month and the 15 days. So the two of them, Sariputta and Moggallana, not only they were close friends and became main disciple of the Buddha. Uh, the teachings that they gave, whenever Sariputta, the right hand man of the Buddha, was like a mother who gave birth to many followers by guiding them to become stream eater. And Moggallana would finish the job was like a nanny who nurtured and guided those three mentors to be fully enlightened. So they work together on that, in that regard. So at the end of Moggallana's life, uh, he was beaten to death because the tradition got jealous uh, with Moggallana because with his psychic power he drew a lot of followers, and they lost a lot of followers. So they hired a lot of thieves or robbers to beat him up. And twice he was able to escape with his psychic power. First time he sneaked through the keyholes, and second time he sneaked out through a roof so they couldn't find him. And then, but he realized this is his own karma that he did in the past life. He was take care of his blind parents, but his parents want him to be more comfortable and more, and they tried to find him a wife, and he got married. But his wife was kind of wicked, because when he went away, he said, to do business, he would complain that his parents was messy, making things messy around the house, and but initially he didn't believe her, but then later on she tried to paint a picture and make the house get spoiled and thing in misplaced and so on, until he became convinced. He said you should get rid of your parents by so he kind of followed her advice, and because they were blind, he kind of like lured them to say, we'll take you to meet your cousin in another village. And he went through a forest, and because they were blind, and then he was disguised with the voice of the thieves and robbers, kind of beating them up. Even that, the parents said, "Get, flee away! Don't stay around." My son didn't know that it was their own son that beat him up. So out of that, to death, out of that karma, he realizes it's his own fate that he have to accept that. So they allowed him to, the third time, beat him up to pieces. In the last life of Moggallana, uh, he uh, could not escape the relentless force of karma. For with an arhat parinirvana, which means the death of the enlightened one, good or bad effect of karma come to an end. It's kind of nullified. Even though you do a lot of good or bad, it's all nullified there because you don't want to be reborn again. He was trapped twice by robbers, but he made good escape. And but on the third occasion, he saw with his divine eye the fatality of escape. He was mercilessly beaten uh, so much so that his body could be could be put even in the sack. By death, but death, but death must await his destiny. It's written that a chief disciple must not only only predecease the Buddha, but must also repair to the Buddha before his death, Parinibbana, and perform miraculous feats and other words of farewell. And the Buddha had to enumerate his virtues in return. So basically, as he was beaten to death, and all bone was broken, so with his psychic power, he kind of pulled his body back together and went to pay the last respect to the Buddha. Buddha would um, have praised him of his um, virtues and so on. And then he left to die, enter Parinirvana after that. So I think that's the end of the story about Maha Moggalana. Any question? Yes.
So, and I cannot predict, but therefore, what there be
Sutra? This thing? I was going to talk about this main disciple for some time, so I prepared already. Pretty long one. Okay. Yeah, I can't do it, but I just got back home yesterday afternoon, evening. So I prepared this before. It just, I would do it one day sooner or later.
didn't know if there was something during.
No. Okay, let me finish this up.